Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So in this live stream, we have another tarot card reading today, and this one is a very special one. It's a very important one. It's for Holly, and you kind of have to know a little bit of background about what's going on with this particular reading to really understand the importance of it. Holly right now is going through well, as she puts it, it's a horrific divorce. Now, with divorces come a lot of problems. For Holly, it's mainly custody. So there's a custody battle that's going on, and she thinks she's losing that battle, the custody battle. So whenever you've got legal issues or things like that, you have to keep in mind that I'm just giving you what I get. Okay? So, you have to take it's almost like I need a disclaimer almost. I'm not a lawyer. I can't provide you legal advice or anything like that. But what I can do is I can give you perspective on what the cards are telling me and what I intuit, what I pick up. I've been doing this a really long time. And one thing I've learned is I don't like the blame game. I don't like it when people hold you accountable for things that really are outside of your control. So that's the reason why I have to kind of put this out there first and foremost. Not just so that Holly understands it, but just so people in general understand it and kind of get the nature of this. When I was a child, when I was really young, I had a psychic experience happen where I had a dream, and I predicted that that there would be a death and a car accident and different things. And anyways, a couple weeks later, that came to fruition. And I don't know, my abilities to intuit things or to pick up information psychically increased, and it's only continued to increase. I'm in my 40s now, and it just continues to get stronger and stronger. I have no idea how strong it's going to get to. As of right now, it's just sort of like I feel as though God has given me a gift, and so I need to share that gift with the world, at least with the people that need the help, or the people that I'm able to help. But I'm just a simple monk. I'm not, trying to get famous or anything like that. I'm not a YouTube influencer, nothing like that. I'm just someone that has, a God-given gift, and I want to give it back, in a way that's meaningful to try to help as many people as I possibly can. And if you guys look at the videos that I've put out, you'll know that that's exactly what I'm trying to do. That's what my motivation, that's what my intention is behind all my actions. So I just wanted to kind of put this out there for those of you that maybe are watching this for the first time, to kind of give you a little background on me and kind of what this channel is all about. We provide indirect knowledge here. It's knowledge that sort of comes in psychically. One of the mediums that I use as far as divination goes is tarot cards. They do help me. And I have a tendency to just, things will start to pick up for me. So like as I'm doing a reading, I will get more information that will start to come. But even now, like before I'm even doing the reading and stuff, I'm already intuiting, I'm getting colors in my mind, I'm seeing scenes start to unfold before me. And the real interesting thing about this whole phenomenon is that I won't necessarily remember the details after the reading is done. And that's one of the reasons I like to do these videos, because I've had it so often back when I used to do these in-person readings for people. People would seek me out. They would later come back and ask me questions, and for the life of me, I just, I'm in a different zone mentally. And so I have like amnesia when it comes to the readings. I don't really remember the readings. Somebody can ask me, well, what did you mean by such and such? And I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even remember even doing the reading half the time. And I don't really know per se exactly why that is. But it's just, it's just part of it, I guess. So, I've gone to ESP schools and done different things, and I've tried to where they give you like 5 or 6 different cards or 10 different cards, and they tell you they're thinking about something and they want you to pick what they're thinking about. Or, there's a lot of these different types of testing and things that help people to improve their ability to tap into things intuitively or psychically, whatever terminology you want to use for it. So anyways, but at the heart of everything I do is my intention, and the intention I have is to try to help in the best possible way that I can. So now in this moment, it's for Holly. And, I really do feel for her. I empathize with her, and there's an emotional connection that I have as well to all of this. I mean, I can't imagine what she's going through. You have these children, you have a terrible divorce that you're battling, and things are not going your way. And so there's a lot of emotion, a lot of stuck feelings, and a lot of frustration and stress and things that go along with all that. So let's see what we can do. So I've got my cards here. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards and just kind of start to really kind of hone in on the question for Holly. And I know you guys are probably interested in the reading and stuff, and maybe this front matter or this bit that I've been talking about here, maybe it doesn't really interest you as much as the reading itself, because the reading is really where the excitement is. It's like, what are the cards going to tell? And it's that way for me also. Like I do enjoy getting information and seeing what's going to come in. Until I put my focus and my attention and zero in on it, it's sort of like I almost get sort of like a tunnel vision, and I enter almost like a kind of like a trance, almost like a trance state. And once I get there, things just start to come into my periphery, my mind, and everything else gets kind of shut off, and I start to zone out. And it's in those moments that everything is happening, that information comes to me automatically. So I'm just going to cut these cards here for Holly. And let's think about this for just a moment. Let's zero in. So, like I do normally, I'm just going to do a 7-card reading for Holly on this matter. We're going to see what information and advice that the cards will give her, and whatever I pick up, I will share as well. We're going to look at the past, the present, and the future. This is going to be surrounding this divorce. It's surrounding the whole situation. And then we'll look at really what the answer, the key is. That's going to be the key to getting the outcome that is desired, or that shows itself up a little bit later on. We'll look at the energy surrounding the present moment right now. That's where everything is kind of, at a standstill at this moment. That's where all change can happen, is from the present moment. And then we'll also look at where Holly is, as far as like what she would like as far as the outcome, or kind of where she's at mentally, or what her attitude and thoughts are on things. And this could be stuff that's hidden from her. Maybe she's not even consciously aware of it. And then finally, we'll look at the outcome. And the outcome will be based on, should nothing change, and no actions are really necessarily taken outside of what would have been. That's really the outcome that comes about. Of course, like I always tell people, once you understand what is the likely future, it's easy to go in and change that, and to kind of reroute things and make things differently happen. especially when you have some answers and some solutions that have presented themselves, which we'll be getting here in a short moment. So let's look at the past. Wow. So the past is past represents, this is naivety. This is the Fool card. It doesn't mean that Holly's foolish. Excuse me. It doesn't mean that Holly's foolish or anything like that. The Fool represents naivety. It's inexperience. It's, the person that has a lot to learn. But what's nice or interesting about this type of personality, or this situation sometimes we find ourselves in, is that if it wasn't for this, we probably wouldn't take chances. We wouldn't move our life forward. We wouldn't learn new things. We wouldn't, all the exciting elements of life, they just wouldn't happen for us. We would just be kind of stuck in a box and shut off from everything. And what is really the fun in that? So the Fool is a really fun card. This person just kind of, goes with the flow, a little naive. They're unsuspecting of other people and their motivations and, kind of what their ideas are and kind of what's going on behind the scenes. And this is a past. And with regard to Holly, this is kind of where her mind has probably been. She probably got into something and didn't really see everything, in full color. And, maybe blind to some things, and then just, going at it from a very loving, naive place. And so that's kind of where this has, been generated. So we don't always see everything that's, what somebody that's a little bit wiser, that may have had more experiences than us with this particular card would have been able to notice or recognize or see. This person, where we're at with this card, is we're just really not there. So we don't see everything as it is. So the next card is the present moment. Okay, that's where we're at. So Holly, here is the present moment, and we see the Hierophant. We see the 5, the Roman numeral 5 on this card as well. That's the 5 is all about change. The Hierophant, though, is an interesting card in this spread, like in the present moment, because it really teaches us the importance of culture and tradition, religion, spiritual values, those kind of things all tend to come into play. It's almost like the value of the spiritual over, say, like materialism or like this illusion of materialism. It's like, and materialism is like loss and gain. It's this concept or this idea of having a loss or having a gain. We win some, we lose some. It's this duality. But when we get to a little bit deeper place in our life, and the Hierophant, it's really stressing more of the importance of not giving up who we are, like where we come from, our background, our traditions, our spiritual things. You see, these are the things that connect us to other people within our little microcosm universe. So for example, like say everyone in your life disappears or goes out of your life, because you have these traditions and these values and this education and all these kind of things that make you who you are, you're able to then take that information and then connect with other people of a like mindset, of a like mind. And it's because you have these, this understanding of things, that you're able to communicate and to get on nicely with others and to build new relationships and new foundations and all these kind of things. So that's the importance of like this particular card, this Hierophant. It helps us to stay rooted, grounded, able to connect with society members, able to connect with others as well. And this is sort of like, we look at justice in the tarot, but for us, this is almost like spiritual justice in a lot of ways. This is a person, you see a figure who's, and sometimes people call this the Pope card, because this person does kind of emulate the Pope. It's this person that's in power, that is really signifying, all the traditions and customs of everything. We think of like the Pope being someone that is holding tight to the traditions of the Catholic Church. And, representing tradition and ritual and things of that nature. So that's really like, I'm just trying to give you a perspective on this card to kind of get you to understand kind of like what's going on now. So in the past, we had this naivety that happened. Now we're starting to understand and recognize the importance of where we come from, the people in our life that are important, at least the values behind those people that are important. And so let's move on a little bit now to really the future. Now, when I deliver the future, oftentimes I'm calibrated to about 3 months out, and it's from the heaviness or what I pick up from the card, as well as the situation in general, that will dictate often like how far out in the future, past that 3 month mark, or how much, or how much closer than that 3 month mark that I'm picking up things. And so I can kind of get an idea of time, things on that end. And right now we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay. So when you look at this card, you see, you see somebody up here, and they're actually, you can't really see it so much because of the way the card is positioned in my hand, but you see this part, they're standing on a bench above these other individuals doing some craft work. There's a hammer there in their hand. So they're a skilled professional, skilled laborer, and they've gotten to a place in their life where they've acquired some skills, and they have some knowledge, and they have some understanding, more so than other people. So, and the three is really about like, is the incorporation of family, is the incorporation of more than two. So it's beyond partnership. So in this particular case, it could be like we have the justice system, and then we have the two sides. Okay. So threes typically, like, and it's kind of across the board, whether we're talking about the Three of Pentacles, Three of Swords, Three of Wands, Three of Cups, it really doesn't matter. But it represents the initial completion of a goal or some type of plan. This card is telling us to take advantage of our talents, refine our skills, be able to profit from our skills, and be able to basically rise above others by becoming the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be. So this is like some advice that is good to kind of understand in this situation. So when it comes to these legal proceedings, what the cards are saying up to this point is, look, you've got three things that you want to incorporate into this, argument, because essentially, like when you're going for custody or you're going for any of this stuff, you have to make your argument. You have to present yourself. And what the tarot is basically telling you is that, you have three things that you need to get out there. One, you need to get out there this idea of naivety, that, when you got started in this relationship and you had these children and stuff, that you're kind of naive and you didn't really necessarily know what you were getting yourself into. See, what's important about that type of a position is that all people for the most part, can genuinely identify with that and understand where you're coming from, right? So, now in law, the absence of knowing does not justify, breaking the law or something along those lines. Or so even though that's not going to win your defense, so to speak, or win you your children necessarily, what it will do is it will at least paint this picture in the minds of the people that are the decision makers in this case, that, hey, we've all been there before. We've been a little foolish, where we just didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. And because of that, we empathize with those individuals. And that's really what you're trying to do in this case, is to get a little empathy, if not a little bit of sympathy, from the judge or from the decision makers, the lawyers, and everyone else, kind of moving forward with this. And this is about like, this Fool card is really this individual is kind of, going off the cliff, putting their, just doing what they need to do, and just not even really thinking before they leave. You could end up in a sticky situation, and people understand that. And so our natural tendency, and I'm picking this up really strongly with like the judge and the decision makers here, is that they want to help you. Okay. You may not be aware of it because of this Fool, because of the Fool within us, it's like not understanding, but this naivety and stuff, if you can present this or at least paint this picture to some degree, it's going to really help your case, I feel. Now, The next thing is we have this Hierophant. This is the second position that you need to paint within this thing. And that is really about the values, the spiritual values. That's the, you're not doing, see, here's what happens a lot of times in these types of cases. It goes down to intent, right? What is this person's real intent? Are they trying to, get back at the ex? Are they trying to come out financially on top? What is really their motivation? And what the Hierophant card is really telling you is that you need to stick to your traditions and everything like that. It's really about superseding those kind of dualities. That's what I was talking about with regard to like loss and gain, or material abundance versus poverty. It's really about understanding that life is more important. The more important things to understand and recognize is our values, like where we come from. That's our taking into account our family values, our what's in the best interest of others, what's coming from the heart. Those are things that we really need to be putting out there. It's about our religion and our culture and the things that make us on a level of society, on a level of the people. So that's something that I would encourage you to probably try to get across on some level, instead of it being kind of like, you got to understand the way that other people are going to see the case or see your situation. And, at first glance, it may just be that they might be thinking, well, she's done this, this, and this, and that's kind of who she is. And they kind of paint you in a box. But what you really need to do is in order to get out of that box, is to really just say, you know what, everybody makes mistakes, and I'm no different. I mean, if anything, I'm really more guilty of being naive than anything else. But at the core of who I am, or the thing that's the most important, is really, it's my culture, my beliefs, my tradition. It's, it's my background. I had really good parents. I was raised in a nice household, and these kind of things, So that's kind of the picture, the second part of this puzzle second part of this picture that we're trying to paint. And finally, the last thing is this idea of completion of a goal or a plan. It's about you wanting to do better for yourself, refining your skill set, getting to a better place so that you can take care of your children, so that you can take care of your responsibilities, so that you can have more meaningful relationships with other people. It's about total self-improvement. And see, that's what I'm picking up with all of this, is that it's this progression. We say, yeah, I admit, I've been kind of naive in the past. You don't have to admit to being foolish. I mean, but just say, I've been naive. I came into this with certain expectations or certain ideas. Maybe I was crazy to think the way that I was thinking. And then, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. Now we're talking about the background here. Like my background and stuff, I had parents that really, truly loved each other. I had parents that, they put the kids first before anything else. And so that's where I'm coming from, and that's, as far as my decision-making goes, that's the level that I'm on. But more than anything, like as far as moving forward goes, and this is that future card, this is the other part that you want to paint. As far as the future goes, I really want to be able to, better myself so that I can have a better life for not just me, but also for my kids and for other people in my life and the people that I care about. And so for me right now, it's more about working diligently to kind of build my skill set, whatever that happens to be. Holly, you have to kind of build this out for yourself, but and just so that I can become more grounded and more earth-centered, and just be able to, be an all-around better individual and stuff like that, where I can uphold my customs, uphold my beliefs, and give my children the very best that I can possibly give them, from the love and everything that's in my heart. So there's kind of what I'm picking up as far as that goes. So let's look at the answer here. So the answer, and we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail, but the answer card that we have here is the King of Wands. So let's just go ahead and look at that. You can see that king right there, the King of Wands. The King of Wands. Wands are about creative energy. Okay, creativity. It's also about it's also about action. So it's this particular king, and kings are really representative of authority. They're authority figures. This could very well represent the judge in this particular case, or whoever the decision maker is. But, the thing you got to understand about this particular judge or this particular individual is that it's about, this person is entrepreneurial in their mindset, they're a visionary, they're creative authority, so it's about creativity. They appreciate these kind of things. And so they want to help, but they also want to be the person that kind of gives the advice, paint a creative picture, create a plan of action that would be the best help. And they do it in such a nice way that it gets other people really excited about getting on the same page. Okay? So in other words, like taking their action and putting it out there. But this is all about creative foundations. So if you give this authority figure a chance to kind of paint this picture for you or to help you, and think of them more like a helper, someone that really wants to see you succeed in this case, you start to tell your unconscious mind and things start to shift. And you'll feel that shift start to happen. You'll see little signs and things of it. And so in a case that right now you feel like you're losing, you very well will come out on top. But let's move past the answer for just a moment, and let's get back more to this Hierophant card, because that's the present moment that we're looking at right now. And let's look at really where the energy is surrounding this Hierophant. Okay. So the energy that we're looking at right now is this Temperance card. Temperance is all about having patience, not being in a hurry. We want to do things in a very nice way, a refined way. Remember we had that card a moment ago that was the Future card and all? Well, this card is all about refinement. So we're refining our process. We're refining what we're able to achieve. And this card right here is Temperance, telling us, hey, have patience. If you look at Temperance, there's like 2 cups here, and it's like she's pouring this concoction or solution or beverage or liquid or something into the other cup. And she's doing it in certain precise measurements. And the reason she's doing it in this fashion is because it's about creating the absolute best quality outcome, or beverage in this case, that she can possibly create. It's not just throwing things together haphazardly. This is about really taking your time and doing things in the nicest way possible, dotting our I's, crossing our T's, but really having patience. And that's what Temperance is really all about. So have a little patience. Things are going to work out for you. And then we can look at really kind of now where Holly is at. Like, where is her mindset at? What would she like to see as far as the outcome? Where is what kind of answers or solutions is she really looking for? And just kind of get more of a perspective on that. So in this case, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So again, we had the King of Wands a minute ago. I'm sorry, not Pentacles, but we have the 6 of Wands in this particular card right here. And this is about victory. So this here is what she's wanting. She's wanting victory over this situation. This is what Holly's wanting. This is the victory card right here. And this is where we get a small victory. We come up on top. This person is representative Holly right now. This is the victor. Let's look at the outcome. Okay. So the outcome is another sword. It's the King of Swords. So boy, wow, we're getting quite a few swords here. So definitely what we're talking about here is really this authority, someone in authority. This is swords. Swords are about mental authority. Okay. So it's about, and this is what this is what the kings really do, is they create authority and they build foundations, and they build such strong foundations that kingdoms can come, society can blossom, prosperity can happen, kingdoms can expand, all these kind of things. So that's what I want you to think about when you think of the kings. It's expansion. It may not happen immediately for every single king. Like the King of Pentacles may, need a little bit more time than say like the King of Wands. The King of Wands, which we talked about a minute ago, which was your answer card, is also going to go along with this outcome card. And this outcome card right now is this King of Swords. You can see the King of Swords right here. So this is a really interesting tarot spread, because we have 2 kings. One king is about mental authority, and one king is about creative authority. So you got to get kind of creative with your mind in order to come up with, the best way forward here. The thing to understand is that you want to use your mind and elements of creativity, intertwine the two. So the key here is, you got to think here mentally is going to be your outcome and stuff like that. And you also got to use some creativity in the mix as well. So mental authority and creative authority are the two things here that are really coming about. So when it comes to the final decision for this cardinal, it's going to boil down to this. And what this card represents, this King of Swords right here, this king right here doesn't mess around. They're black and white, and that's how justice really is. It's you're either right or you're wrong, and that's what this king represents. He's going to see everything in terms of right and wrong. What is the solution? What is best? What is not best? And that's really what it all boils down to. But the answer to, if that's not an option for you, if you're definitely losing, and you're losing because of the law being black and white, in terms of this logic and this reasoning and all, if you want to know what the workaround to this card here is, it's this card right here. This is a king of creativity right here. And this is the king that wants to help you. This is the king that's a little bit different than what you see is what you get, the black and white, the reason, the logic, and all of that. This king here is willing to go out on a limb, notice the wand, go out on a limb and help you. And in order for this king to help you, the advice that the cards and what I'm also picking up is really giving you is that you're going to have to go and play your cards exactly with regard to these three things. You got to put forward the fact that, in the beginning you were a little naive. You didn't know exactly how divorces worked. You didn't know how child custody happens. You were just in the dark about things. And then you need to paint this picture of like things that are important to you are just the things that you hold on to, like your traditions, your background, and paint a nice picture of like, I came from a nice family and we always did the right thing and we always took care of our responsibilities. Whereas, my husband or my partner over here, he didn't really come from the same vantage point as where I did. So thus my naivety. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move forward because now I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and I see things a little bit differently. But what I'm trying to do now is I've really got a goal in mind, a certain plan that I would like to have an opportunity to work through. I want to be able to kind of refine my skills, build a strong foundation for, helping my children to have nice, successful lives and to be able to do this kind of thing. And if you do that, the King of Wands is going to kind of rise above that King of Swords over there. The King of Swords is if you just keep going like in the same direction you've been going, the outcome is probably going to continue to go not in your favor. But if you can just kind of put it out there, just be very truthful but paint it in the way that I've given you, this King of Wands, this creative energy and stuff within this here judge will start to come about. And that creativity mixed with that kind of fairness and that kind of thing, the judge will be able to justify his actions based on who he is as a person. This King of Swords is a very, he's based on strictly the info that he's given, right? So now you need to give him new info. And that new info is paint this picture like I'm telling you. Also, give the king the opportunity to get a little creative. Okay, show him what you've got and then let him help you. Okay, so that's really it. You kind of have to have, like, with regard to this Hierophant and everything like that, and the traditions and everything, and being able to paint this down, you're really going to need that Temperance card to come out. And that's that patience. It's about doing certain things in a really nice way. So be nice to the judge. Give him the opportunity to help you through his the creative side of his mind. You say, left brain logical, that's this king, okay? Left brain logical is this. This is we make decisions based on fairness. We make the decisions based on the black and white, to the letter of the law, so to speak, right? Well, even though that's the case and all, and the judge will still be able to justify it with this, in the end, if you do as I'm suggesting that you do, I strongly feel that you'll win the case, and it's going to take that creative side of the king to come out and to want to help you, or at least, make the situation much better for you. So, in the end, it's going to come down to, your background, where you come from, putting those things forward. whatever picture has already been painted, and I don't care what it is. I mean, I don't care if the ex has painted you as a drug addict, or, reckless endangerment to the child. I don't care what kind of lies or what kind of pictures been painted yet. You still have time to fix that. And in order to fix that, the cards are saying, just say, look, maybe I have been a little naive, but I come from a good background, a strong background. And what I'm really working toward, or what my goal is anyway, is to really make the most of my talents and my abilities, and to be able to create the best life, not just for myself, but for my children. And I don't have any malice or hate toward anybody. I love everybody, and just kind of put that out there. Give this king the opportunity, this judge the opportunity to start thinking to himself, I don't want to make a bad decision here. I don't want to just, something inside of him is going to become triggered. And when it does become triggered, he's going to be thinking more creatively, like, how can I make this situation best for the children, best for the parents, and everybody? He'll come up with a good solution that'll work for everyone. And it's not just going to be one-sided like you might get with this outcome here. So that's really the key to your outcome. Of course, have your patience and just understand that by doing this, the cards are saying you're victorious. So you have nothing to really worry about. Everything is going to be fine. But that's the advice the cards give. That's what I'm picking up intuitively and psychically. I hope that this really helps you. And guys, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit the like button, thumbs up. And if you guys want to support the channel and support the work of the monks, helping us help other people and stuff like that, you're free to donate. Just go to helpbydonating.com. That website is helpbydonating.com. And there you can give whatever, love offering that you'd like to give. And, it would go a long ways in helping a lot of other people. So that's really all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any other questions or, anything that you'd like to share with me, I'll have my email in the description below this video. Of course, you guys are free to get your own tarot readings if you need one. Just go to indirectknowledge.com. That's my website. And that's pretty much it. Guys, thanks so much. Holly, things are going to work out great for you. I already got a really strong feeling for you. As your tarot coach, if you need anything, please reach out to me. I'm always available. I'm always here for you. And like I say, I do this as a labor of love. This is my service. This is a gift that God has given me. And so that's why I do what I do. Thank you all.